Hello and welcome back to the channel. Tonight I'll be reviewing a film called A Perfect Enemy. This is a 2020 psychological thriller directed by Quique Maiello, and it's based off of the French novel Cosmetti de l'Ennemi. And this stars Thomas Cot and Athena Straits, and the film centers around a middle-aged architect named Jeremiah Angust. And the film begins with him giving a seminar at a Paris university. And shortly after this seminar, it's briefly mentioned that he's a widower who lost his wife nearly 20 years ago. And as he's departing this college, he's heading towards an airport that he had been responsible for constructing nearly 20 years ago. And along the way, he's stopped in the middle of the road. His driver stops as they see a young woman. It's raining, there's a rainstorm. And she flags them down and claims that she's desperate for a ride to the airport. She's got a flight leaving around the same time as Angust. And he decides to give her a lift. So the two make their way to the airport. And ultimately, they both miss their flights. And it's there that they re-encounter one another in a VIP lounge within the airport. Now, this film is very similar to a film called Red Eye in the sense that it's two individuals sharing a conversation through the majority of the film, and as we progress, the conversation gets more and more uncomfortable and more chilling. However, unfortunately, this film was not as well executed as Red Eye was, and this is a different film entirely, in all fairness. This is a deeply introspective psychological thriller, and it's also akin to a film called I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which was a 2020 Netflix film. And I say this because there's a lot of allegory and a lot of simile done in this. There's a reoccurring theme that plays out throughout the entire film of a model of this airport that's in the center of this VIP lounge, and between scenes we'll see our characters as model figurines inside this model, and there will be blood splotches sort of near these two figurines. And it's very effective. That's actually one of the more chilling and effective things done in this film. I was very impressed by, but and also very similar to Hereditary in that sense as well. But anyways, I digress. This conversation just goes really bizarre, and the young lady, her name is Tessel Texture, and she's brilliantly played by this actress, Athena Straits. Incredible performance here, and I think that's the best part of this film. Really, really carried this film along, but it just unfortunately was not enough. After the two cross paths again, Angust is in no mood to have any sort of conversation with this young lady, as she's the reason that he missed his flight. And she is just absolutely persistent and hell-bent on pestering him with small talk. And this ultimately leads to a drink at the bar. And at this point, she claims that she has 3 stories to tell him. And she prefaces this with the fact that she's murdered someone. So now this clearly captures Angust's attention, and he becomes a willing listener. And the movie just becomes more and more bizarre as the conversation is unfolding. And I'll leave it at that in terms of story and exposition. But yeah, this is a strange movie. It really had so much potential, and it was very intriguing in the first act, but it really peters out in the second and third. So I'm going to have to give this one a 5.5 out of 10. I would recommend it to anyone who's into the psychological thriller genre, but this one just didn't do it for me. So Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and that'll be it for me here. Have a good night.